channel that anybody can get into that don't have locks. You know what I'm saying? Like on the doors.
But you had keys.
Right. But you have to have the keys, which you input into each of the radios by hand with a radio. So every one of these aircrafts that are flying around, they're operating on a radio channel that are set by keys that are input by somebody walking around with one of these things that I used to have. And you get it. They set the keys, right? They set the code, the frequency codes for you to get into this door, right? But you can only get into that door at a certain time frame because the frequencies hop. They go to a different frequency, and it's a anti-terrorism type of thing. You know what I'm saying? That people they do so that people can't tune into your frequency, because in case somebody, like, say there's a downed aircraft, right, where they go get that radio is still loaded with those keys. And so then they can now have the keys to get into the door, and they can try to listen to the other operators.
But y'all jumping.
Right, but it jumps. The frequency hops. So I would do that. In the military, that was part of one of my jobs before I got out, that I would go around loading some of the aircraft and the vehicles, the ground vehicles. Like, I'd load all the ground, because at first we were classified just air in 94 Lima, and then after I was in for about 6 years that I was in, they changed us to Echoes, 94 Echoes, and we started working on the ground radios also. So we'd have to put these keys into all the ground vehicles before we go out on like a field training convoy. But it was the same thing that we do for the helicopters downrange when we go overseas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's what goes to what you were just talking about, Jacoby.
Well, the main shit that I learned about that was that, so like back then, radar was brand new, and it was so fucked up and shitty. We started like putting up fucking pretty much like plywood tanks to make it look like we were like mobilized in a section here. That way we'll get airborne, and it wouldn't seem like shit. It would just seem like, oh, there's a bunch of shit here. So it would just make them target that one area, and that one area is a bunch of dummies, while we're fucking still in track to fucking get here and shit. And I was like the very like established radar, and we were fucking just planning coups on motherfuckers, and they didn't know what the fuck was going on. And it's super interesting, because now it's just like this shit. We have so many satellites. We have, like, with GPS and everything like that, we have such a broad, like, view of just signal now from everything. And like back then, this shit was just brand new, and they were like, you know what?
It wasn't like more common knowledge than it is now.
Yeah. And like back then, we're like, man, hey, let's go make some fucking faux-ass tanks and just make it seem like bodies. So whenever the wave would ripple through, we're like, oh, they're here, because it just shows a mass.
Right.
And they're just fucking airborne, going over there fucking shit up, dude. It was a very cool like learning experience about radar, you know, and it's
Well, you talking about like in World War II?
Yes.
All right, so that leads me into this next book that I'm starting to work on. It's about my grandfather, and he was a B-29 bomber pilot in World War II. He flew B-29s and dropped bombs over Okinawa and Iwo Jima. And then he got lost one time because of his navigator and their radar equipment and their navigation equipment. They got him lost, and they ended up over Tokyo, and they bombed Tokyo.
Oh, they fucked up.
Also, yeah, but he made it back. But I have his memoirs, and it's about like all his missions. He had 34 successful missions and got awarded like the Flying Cross and different stuff. And so my middle name, Jantz, comes from him. It's Paul Jantz. And so the book's Alpha is called Alpha, and that was his first name. So...
Well, hold on. Before we dive deep into that.
Yeah. I just wanted to tell you that it's like crazy, because you're talking about it. I might as well tell you about that part.
Before we take off flight on this, let's bring it in. Joe?
Oh, welcome back to the Third Coast Podcast.
What? Yo! What it do, Gators?
It sounds better than when I say it, Ben.
I've been here before.
You're one of our like favorite guests.
Bro, I love it. Yeah. Y'all come to my house. I come over here with Cleve and Joe, and now me and you and Joe, and we sitting around cooking Ben's boudin.
Shout out Cleve. He is out there doing the worldly hustle of the shit you have to do, just like I've been doing for the past 3 months, you know. Sometimes duty calls. So
welcome back to the mic, Kobi.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a little bit aggressive, but
I need to save that spike.
Hey.
It's gonna be real easy to see.
Hey, before Kobi come over here, he lost his truck and he lost his keys and lost everything, and he just showed up over here,
dude. Like for like, all right. So like me and Ben, we've become good friends over these past couple of years. But people like Joe in Cleveland, they know that I've lost my shit on a regular basis my entire fucking life, dude. I can't tell you how many times I've lost a wallet. Lost a fucking phone, had to go get a new fucking. Sometimes I wouldn't have an ID, just like I haven't gone and got it yet because I lost the last one and I feel embarrassed to go get one. You know what I'm saying? But it's just one of those people. I used to say I was Irish as fuck, but now I'm more Scotch than Irish, but I'm actually more English than fucking both of those motherfuckers. So I still don't have no goddamn luck. So yeah, it feels good to be back. It really. I wanted it this last weekend. I was went to Avery Island. I had to have a date. I haven't had a date with the lady since before we were pregnant. I'm a father now.
Hey,
shout out to the listeners.
Father,
Daddy O.
Kobi's daddy.
You can call me Poppy. You can call me Papa. Big Daddy. You can call me Daddy. You know.
Yeah, you're late in the game.
Yeah.
Hey, some of us are. I still, you know.
Hey, good for you. Good for you. It's not completely terrible. It's just it's like a whole new learning curve to life. It teaches you, like, being friends with people like Joe in Cleveland, like, half my life, and seeing them become fathers, and you guys make it look easy. Like it just seemed like, but every baby is different, but you guys, like, I looked up to y'all, and I even look at, like, Brandon. I'll shout out Brando. He has a beautiful 7-month-old boy, and that motherfucker's like this fucking long, dude. That's the biggest fucking baby I've ever seen in my life. And you guys just make it seem like it's not just leisure, but just like you guys kick ass so much at being fathers, and I just like want to like aspire to be someone like y'all. And what tests me the most is just patience.
Yes, you got to have a lot of that.
You have to have patience, and like I shout out Allie, dude. She's a goddess. She murders the whole mom aspect. She is a fucking superhero. She's murdering it, and me, I'm still like trying to figure shit out, and then I still get overwhelmed and like I don't know what to do. You can't just sit here talking to them normally while they're screaming at you. No, because they need something.
Yeah.
They don't need you talking to them. They give a fuck less of what you're saying to them. You know what I'm saying? They need like nurturing or attention or fucking food or fucking diaper, this and that or whatever. It's a fucking different ball game, dude. It really fucking is.
You mind if I interject right quick?
Go ahead, dude.
When it comes to, you say that like we're rock stars, superstars, 90% of being a parent, or at least a decent parent, is just trying to be there. You ain't going to be good at it. It sucks. I'm still learning. Like Charles, just this morning, he just turned 14, right? And
Shout
this
out
morning
Charles.
I had to check him. I was making breakfast, and I was making hash browns and bacon and eggs and stuff, and he comes, sits down at the table. I was like, hey, son, you want some breakfast? He said, okay, that sounds good. I was like, and instantly, early in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sir, I would like some breakfast. I was like, oh, I thought I had a hearing problem there for a fucking second. But, like, in that, but it's...
What?
Like, what? Well, you know how much money I just spent on your birthday a couple of days ago? But you're never, with being a parent, you ain't going to never be perfect. And it's just, like I said, 90% of it, being a good parent is just trying to be there. If you're there, you've done a lot more than you would ever know. Because as long as you're there, your kid will see you're there. And that means a lot.
And like at this point, you can't be yourself no more. You're not going to be you for a very long time. You're going to have to put that bookmark in that book and start a new book, and then pick back up on this book whenever this book hits another fucking chapter later on in life.
You will develop into some a new version of you.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like when I say.
You'll get some New Balance, white New Balances, shorts.
I'm gonna get those. I'm gonna get those. Like I already looked into. Dude, New Balance got some ballin' ass fucking shoes, and like There's an app called Goat.
You see, it's already happening.
The Goat, dude. The Goat. You'll buy fucking like Gucci brand fucking Adidas for like $1,200, but the New Balances are still pretty expensive too. But they're nice. They're nice shoes. I'm gonna go dad. I'm gonna dad out, dude.
I've been going shoeless a lot. I be barefoot.
Shout out Ben
grounded.
Jones. We got Ben Jones here with us again.
Hey man, I be out there barefoot with my horses. Like today, I did a whole photo shoot with my horses for my birthday with a cake. I went out there and with a chocolate cake.
That's a great video, by the way.
Yeah, bro. And I put a little bit of the horse feed on the top of the icing.
Was it the sweet feed?
Yeah,
yeah.
sweet feed.
I love the sweet feed.
But my horse Mac, he already likes the sweet stuff, like sugar stuff, like Jolly Ranchers or
You can
like
feed
stuff
horses that?
Man, you can feed horses that. Like, they don't need to eat that constantly. You know what I mean?
A
it's
horse
not
will
poison. It's not poison, you know? It's not like you poisoning the animal. It's just they don't need to eat that sweet stuff all the time. But it was my birthday. I went and celebrated my birthday with him.
Happy birthday, Bubba.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, bro.
You look good,
Yeah,
baby.
man, appreciate it.
I'm happy you're here with us.
41, baby. I'm 41. Hey, listen. It's because I go to the motherfucking gym almost every day.
I'm gonna say you look our age.
No, it's because look, bro. I had a best friend in the military that died. His name was Lawrence G. Marquez, and he was a Green Beret. But before he was a Green Beret, he was my roommate, and he was Filipino. And I watched this dude go out there and run before we had PT every single morning. Like, I saw what he did, and now that he's dead, it's like I try to honor that. And plus, it's like I want to live as long as I can to be able to move, because people that stop moving die. And that's what we was talking about earlier. It's like my animals, and I see it all the time. If a cow or a horse lies down and they don't get up, they ain't going to get back up. Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You can go out there and try to pick them up with a tractor bucket or do that to help them. But usually, whenever they can't get back up, that's it.
So they kind of lose like a little bit of hope, like a strive for life.
Yeah,
whenever
it's
you're
like this
immobile.
spark. It's because you can't go no more. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't ever see nobody that's moving like all of a sudden, just unless it's a crazy accident that takes them away from us. You know what I mean? But if you vigilant and you do what you got to do every day to try to survive, you know what I'm saying? It's like we do some unhealthy things, like
constantly.
You know what I mean?
Speaking of that.
But you know what I mean?
Cheers.
Yeah, we do
Gross.
some.
Happy birthday, baby.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. But what I'm saying is that you got to strive. It's like a daily strive to, like, in the process, because if you keep, it's compounding interest, bro. It's how you do finances. It's how you do abundance. It's how you do wealth. It's compounding your interest, and then basically, it's fucking grinding like every single day. And it's crazy because I'm retired now, but I'm really do way more work now.
You're probably the best looking retired guy I know.
Thanks,
dude.
bro. Appreciate
Like,
that,
straight
man.
the fuck
Hey,
up.
appreciate it. Hey, because I work on all
And
my
the
issues.
happiest at that.
No, but
too.
look, I work on my issues, and like I'm not happy all the time. I have moments where I'm down. Like, shout out everybody with a PTSD stuff. You know what I mean? It's like I have my moments where I'm really down, and some people hear that from me because I know they're my go-to people,
Right.
That I can go to talk about, where they're not gonna go vent my shit all over every place and be like, man, listen what Ben said when he was really down and out. You know, you got to have those people in your support system if you know that you have an illness, or if you have something that you're going through mentally. And it's like, shout out Fed the Void. You know what I mean? Because look, we striving to do a mental health festival. And so I want to talk about the mental health part. And it's like being a survivor of mental health issues, because I choose life every single day.
Goddamn right,
Even though I ain't
man.
got to. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to choose life every day, but I do. And so that's what it's a lot of people know about the music, and a lot of people know about the food, and a lot of people know about the vendors. But it's like we really out there trying to show people how to live and how to have a good time and not to give up on themselves, and surround yourself with positivity. You know what I'm saying? And so all these people that come together, it's like we are a mental health festival, because we believe in mental health, because I know that I deal with it from the military, and I choose every day to use my talents and use my abilities to not only help myself, but then come out here and throw this festival so that other people going through shit, because I ain't the only one. I ain't the only one dealing with mental stuff. You know what I mean? Like, everybody got their own mental stuff that they deal with in their own way. But if we can create a space to allow them to deal with it that maybe they don't have if they don't come out there. So I just want to mention that with Fed the Void, like shout out Hunter, shout out Donnie, Charlie, Will, Bill,
Chris,
Susan, Craig, Chris,
everybody.
Kyle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like shout out the whole Fed the Void family and Shell, anybody that I didn't mention.
The crew.
Kennedy, yeah. Shout out to everybody. Lindsay, that like because it's all a communal thing and we all bring our own gifts to the table to try to do this. But it's because there's some of us that's seen like shit that we've been through or our family members have been through. And we know the bad parts of life. And so we don't want to continue that. We want to be that bright light shining in the night that people can come and celebrate their family and their friends with. And so we're trying to create that. And this year was probably one of the best years that we've had so far as a whole group. I'd say, man, 2023, bro, was legit. And I felt like that we becoming like professionals at this, and we're getting better and better. And that's why we got these boudins in front of us right now.
You got some boudins right here.
I made y'all look. Joe actually did a lot of the cooking. You know what I'm saying? Joe did a lot of cooking.
But shout out Chili Grilly though.
Yeah, shout out Chili Grilly and Fed the Void because look, this is where it began.
And it's still warm too.
Look, I used to make this for Hunter out there. Me and Hunter started. I did it on my land before by myself when I had some pickles and then I had some boudin together. But Hunter's really the one I started cooking it for while we were working out there.
But look, before you get into that, I want to ask you like, what is like, so this?
Yes, this in your
Explain
hand.
this.
All right, that's a piece of boudin in tinfoil that's wrapped like a Tootsie Roll, right?
Okay.
It's got a few pickle slices inside of it. Because during the festival, you come up to me while I'm cooking, right? This was free boudin.
At the Chili Grilly.
At the Chili Grilly, yeah.
This is Chili Grilly right here.
The Chili Grilly, yeah. I am the Chili Grilly. Hey, but listen, you come up to the Chili Grilly, and then basically I let you pick out your own boudin, your own link of boudin.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we'll pull it out the pickle juice if it's not already in the pickle juice, which we brine it. We like let it roll around in that pickle juice and get real like vinegar all over it. And then we put it on the grill back for you to get the little grill marks and then heat it up. And then you hit them with the catch line and you go, hey, this is the deal, pickle. You can't eat it until it cools off in your hand. And so I'll wrap it up for them. You know what I mean? And so they can walk around the festival and they can continue looking and seeing and hearing and smelling, but they got this tinfoil wrap boudin.
And it's just like marinating.
And marinating with that pickle in their hand, right?
How many boudin pickles were you able to move from the Chili Grilly?
I'll just say this, that I started at Friday at 6 p.m. I was supposed to start at 6, but I started around 7 because I was sharing the grill with Jesse and them.
Yeah.
But then, look, I cooked from 7 to like 9, and then I took a break, and I came back at 10 and served her around midnight.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Hell
then we started cooking again on Sunday morning. Because we realized that people was hungry, people wanted breakfast and stuff, and we had a bunch of boudin still. And so we went and got some more pickles because shout out Voodoo Mama and Jesse Morton.
And shout out Jesse, dog.
And Cody.
Jesse,
hey,
dude.
listen, because they gave me
koozie.
a big old thing of pickles, right? And so I was like, well, shit. And then me and Xander made a song talking about we ain't got no more boudin, but we still got pickles. but look, and then the next day, or that morning, I was like, fuck it. Me and Kyle went and got more boudin. Like Kyle sent some money with me, and I put in some more money.
Kyle.
Yeah, and we got some more boudin. So we started serving all these people that were hungry, walking around boudin. Bro, I'm saying probably about 500 pieces. I probably went through about 500 pieces of boudin.
And this is like frivolously giving to the public.
Yeah, and then we Coyote, shout out Coyote. Hey, look,
see,
Colton Coyote.
Fucking Colt wasn't there last year, and he was there this year.
Hey, Coyote come up with my band name for whenever I rap. It's called Ben Jones and the Donated Boudin. Yeah.
Hey, shout out Kobi Kutcher, dude. I love you, Coyote.
Y'all wanna hear part of my rap? It goes,
Go ahead.
Chilling with Charlie and Will, cooking boudin on the grill, cutting trees with my steel, in the side by side with Bill. That's my little Void rap that I come up with. That's how I start rapping when I'm at the Void and they want to hear me rap.
Shout out, Mr. Bill too.
Yeah, shout out Bill Murray. That's my dog.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill can run a campfire song, man. I'm telling you, he can get on that guitar and sing with the best of them.
I feel like he can just get in where he fits in. And
He's got that charisma, bro.
He's a
He got
he's
the
just there,
charisma.
man.
Firestorm.
Oh yeah.
Hey, he's good though, man. He knows how to balance it, bro. He's taught me to see. A lot of people might think that, bro, like the Wild Bill part. That dude's really smart, bro, and he's got it going on.
Oh, you goddamn right. He's fucking
like
smart.
I'm telling you, bro. When it comes to hunting, fishing, cooking, like doing anything like manly to survive, bro. I'm telling you, I look up to Bill a lot. So shout out, Mr. Bill Murray.
He and I
respect from Ben Jones.
A couple of years ago, and like we were sitting around Casade as fuck, man. We had been drinking and shit, and it was like real late night. We were around the fucking fire, and I turned to look at it, and I'm like, "Wow, Bill!" And I was like, "Hold on now, that ain't him right now." Yeah. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I was like, "No, that's at a later time." Okay.
Yeah, sometimes he's Harvey Wallbanger. If you talk to the right people, you know what I'm saying. You get in the corner with Fish.
Hey, that's a bad fucking
with
dude.
Fish and AJ. You know what I'm saying?
That's a bad fucking dude, man.
Hey.
All right, so getting back to this.
So look, I saw Joe at the Chili Grilly. Joe and Cleve came up and they made a video and put it on the Third Coast podcast. I shared it on my TikTok also. Shout out Pawnee Pines.
Are we doing this right
podcast.
now?
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry, bro. You want to take a bite?
Yeah, let's go.
So
ahead.
look, once you unwrap it, bro, just unwrap it to where you can hold a part of it in the wrapping still.
In the wrapping.
Yeah, like how you use the wrapping as like
it
a
smells
holder.
fucking good.
And then when you take your first bite, bro, take a bite of the pickle with the first bite.
The
Pickle
glizzy.
with the
And if this ain't the most Louisiana thing, eating boudin on the podcast.
That's fucking hitting, dude.
Yeah, and so look, I want everybody to know I did not make this boudin and I did not make these pickles. I'm just the person that put them together and started serving them to people. You know what I mean? Shout out Rob Krieger. Hey, he put me on his story, News Channel 8, New Orleans, and Jake Rosenberry. Hey, they talking about the Boudin King was rapping at 4 a.m. with Tootie Town. Shout out Greg Weisberg and Xander. Chris
Fucking,
Rooney.
I love fucking Greg Wise. Shout out Spicy Ranch.
Yeah.
He
Two-Tone Marigold.
Two-Tone, yeah. I ate the whole fucking thing just now.
Dumb. Isn't it great, though?
It's
So look, bro, like that wasn't too much, right? Say you walking around at a festival, right? You walking around, you realize it's not cold. I mean, it's not hot in your hand anymore. It's time to eat it.
Yeah.
Remember, Ben told you that's the deal, pickle.
That's right.
So look, now it's time to eat it. So now y'all have consumed it while you watching your favorite band play. What do you think?
It's like a you like embedded into their future a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like
I was
here
planned.
is me now,
That's right.
but here's gonna be me again later.
Right.
But in that in between, you're gonna forget about it.
That's right. You forget about it in your hand.
And then it's like, holy shit.
And then, what am I carrying? Because, see, look, this is what I figured out.
That's fucking good, dude.
I figured out that people will be inebriated to a certain point at a festival, right? And so a lot of times I forget what's in my hand. So look, what you think we was doing while we was out there working on the festival to get all these grounds ready and shit? People need to eat, right? All the workers need to eat.
Always
so
need to eat.
Ben's Boudin, the Chili Grilly special, right, is easy and quick. And they can take it with them and still work. You know, get work done. They don't have to stop and have like a sit-down meal for this. You can just put it in your hand, eat it, and then you can ball up this and throw this away. That's all you got left.
It's all right. So I have like right here written down, Chili Grilly, Boudin Pickle Supreme established. So was this established this year?
No. All right. So we started talking about it and doing it. The Chili Grilly became, okay, his name's Gage. I don't know if y'all know Coyote's friend, Gage.
Gage from St. Augustine.
That's right.
Yeah, I love that dude.
Okay. So
he and his lady, they're fucking salt of the earth.
Okay, so now, people. 3 years ago, me and Gage was out there and he's like, yo, Ben, what, you need help working on anything?
That's pretty accurate.
and I was like, bro, really?
He's great. He's great,
like,
by the way.
He's like, look, I got my truck and I got all my tools and I got everything. And I was like, bro, let's go. And so we started getting materials and we started working on the Chili Grill to build this little space. Because before that, there was a piano sitting between those two trees. We pulled that piano, me and Charlie pulled that piano out of the old house that got the Cypress house that we tore down with the bulldozer. that they tore down with the bulldozer. But it was like where that little spot beside Barrio, and now the stage is at Barrio. With the murder shack, there's like a little grassy area between the Zen Den and the murder shack.
Yep.
That used to be where that old house was right there, where there was this old piano in there, and we moved that piano between those trees, and we kept talking about that. It would look great to have like a cooking area right there. And one day I was at my house, and I saw in my field where my dad had all this junk, and we've been selling junk. There was this large grate, like grill.
The diamond grate?
It's like a square.
Okay.
It's like a square grill, but it's a big one.
Yeah,
and it's the frame. It's got a frame, like a frame on the outside, and then it's the grate like in between. So I went and brought it over there, and we took that piano out of there, and we built this little like brick foundation, and then put that grate over the top. But we had ratchet straps before because we didn't invest in it and like go and buy chains or whatever like that for it. Well, this year, like shout out to Gage for helping me with the whole creation, because we were going to my house and we were coming back with materials, and Gage was like, what should we call it? And I was like, well, somewhere that you chill. And he said,
you're grilling.
But you're grilling. And he said, the Chili Grilly. And so Gage really was the first one to say it. I said, somewhere you chill and somewhere you grill. And he was like,
that was 2 years ago.
No, three. It was three. That was 3 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was 3 years ago, because last year it really wasn't used that much, and Brenda and I think Brady had set up in there to serve coffee and for him to
Coyote
food
did
out
come
of.
last year because they had that hurricane going on.
Right.
Yeah,
so now this year, Hunter told me that I'm gonna put you on the schedule. I'm gonna have you on there, and he showed me the thing. He said Ben's Boudin at 6 p.m. and said that if they donated it or if they got somebody to pay for it, then would I cook it? And I was like, hell yeah, I'd cook it. And so, bro, I had people coming up giving me gifts left and right and everything for serving them this boudin. It's Sunday morning when people walking around hungry, and I'm giving them boudin. And then Cody and Jesse came over there, and they brought their crawfish that they have left over and shrimp, and made some shrimp wrap tacos, like what would you call them, quesadillas or burritos?
Might be
like
some dillas, yeah.
Yeah. And so he had them wrapped right there, heating on the grill that I have built in the Chili Grilly. And so the Chili Grilly's been like an idea, the same as like all the barrio, and everybody's got its own identity. The Chili Grill is in between, just a cook spot on the fly.
But it's kind
of now it's taking its own like more of a its own identity as like the cooking area for anybody that wants to grill. We want it. The end game for Chili Grilly is to become a communal cooking spot.
But I say it's super communal.
Communal. And we want to finish the 360 on it and make it an area that people can come and sit. And if they have food left over, but they don't want to grill at their spot, they don't have a fire going.
That fire is still hot.
That fire's still going. Like I would like to have enough wood. We couldn't see. We had a burn ban this year, and so we used charcoal. Yeah. But next year, whenever they let us burn again and we have wood brought in, that thing's supposed to be a bigger thing, and we had to kind of like bring it down some and maintain it. So we did a lot of the cooking of the boudin actually on Bill's rolling grill, and then put it up there for heating and for visual aid.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And to add to the whole like experience of coming in and getting some boudin. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people I had like 10 people that were artists that came and said, this is the first time I've ever had boudin. What is boudin? And they may not even say boudin right. They'll say boudin.
Boudin.
And stuff like that, yeah.
Or boudin.
And so I'd have to explain it to them and then explain what I was doing. So I got to serve these 3 guys that played in this band from Colorado. I served it I told them, look, I'm going to get...
420?
Yeah, 420.
3 420.
3 420.
Yeah.
Those dudes, they had long hair and they played at... They played at Avon's.
Yeah.
So those guys, right? Shout out to those guys. They came up to the Chili Grilly and was like, whoa, what's up? Like, this is the first time ever having this. One dude, like, really skeptical. The other guy was all about it, and the other guy was just kind of following the guy that was all about it. And because, look, I figured out this whole thing in Chili Grilly. You could see that people would, like, be on the outskirt wanting to know what the smell was.
Right, yeah.
Wanting to ask something.
Because you can smell it from fucking far away.
Yeah, and they look kind of looking there, and they trying. I could see that their wheels are spinning on it. Is this for sale, or do I have to, like, and so I go, hey, you want some boudin? And just like that. And then they would come up underneath, right?
Like, what the fuck is boudin?
Yeah, and then when they come up underneath, so these 3 guys are sitting there like, do we have to pay for this? I'm like, nah, bro, this all free. This all donated boudin for everybody. And so I'm like, look, I'm going to serve y'all some special way. So I took a big old pickle slice and got some of the boudin that was busting out of the side, and I put it on top of the pickle like it was a cracker. And I was like, look, just take that pickle and eat that pickle like that.
You take that pickle, you're going to like it.
Yeah, you're going to like it. And
You
so,
gonna like it.
And so the dude that was all about it, he did it, and he was like, holy shit. And
Fuck
sitting there
yeah.
eating it. And so the other dude's like, man, you wrap me one up. And I wrapped him up, and the other guy was like, the skeptical guy, right? He was like, no, give me one on the pickle like you did him. Like, he was long.
dude.
And so I was able to give these people an experience that they'd never had before, and then tasting a food from Louisiana that they'd never had before, mixed with another food. Because, look, I had about 10 people from Louisiana that's always ate boudin their whole life. And they'd be like, I never thought about mixing a pickle with a boudin.
Well, see, that's what I was telling you earlier. But like, I know a lot of people who eat boudin with mustard.
Yeah.
Because there's that vinegar fucking like entendre going on there, and so
Yeah.
like with like the pickle essence, it's kind of like the same combatant, you know, and you get it, but. Like, even when I tasted it earlier, like, dude, that fucking pickle on the grill is fucking delicious.
Yeah, so imagine
You
you're
never
at
had
a
a
festival,
smoked fucking
right?
pickle.
And you say that you like drinking the Pats, right?
Yes, sir.
So look, say that you about 6 of them in, you walking around at Fête de Voix, and you smell the smell, and you walk over there.
I'm going to you. I'm going to hug your fucking
Yeah.
neck. You better give me some fucking groceries.
But then we know that you're going to forget about it. I know that you're going to forget about it while you're walking around until it cools off in your hand. You know what I'm saying? When it cools off, then you're going to stop. You're going to look down. And you're going to be somewhere out in the festival. You're not going to no longer be right in front of me.
You know what's going to happen, Ben Jones?
What's that?
I'm going to be overzealous, too drunk, and eat that motherfucker still hot right there beside you.
Oh, no, some people did.
burn
Burn
your
the
mouth.
fuck
Yeah.
out
Oh,
of my
no,
mouth.
no. Listen. Hey, Rob Krieger ate more boudins this year than anybody. Shout out to Rob Krieger. Hey, listen, because he ate more boudin than anybody. He sat there, and he ate about 3 of them, and then he went and got his wife and come back, and then he ate another one while his wife was eating one.
Hell yeah.
I was like, man, this dude right here is the man. He was like, no,
right.
this is really good.
All right, so what about like how Cajun Chef does like the pickled jalapenos? Have you thought about that?
No, I haven't. But you know what we did try was cucumbers. We had a fresh cucumber, and so we started doing that. And you know what we didn't do is we used the Tabasco with one. We ought to break out another boudin and get some of this Tabasco.
we have
or
to
something
try.
with it.
I want him to try that on air at some point in time.
I'll try it right
It's
now.
pretty good, bro.
That
one's
one-
got a good
You got to
taste to
hit it with that old fingertip.
I had just went to Every Island last weekend. You can only buy this one at Every Island. This is new.
The roasted pepper sauce.
They have a bunch of new srirachas out
I
that
ate
are
some
fucking
on a piece of
fantastic.
The
that
fire.
flatbread. He had some flatbread out there.
That's a Greek style pita.
Oh, best pita.
Pita. That's some Greek style pita. But this is one of my new favorites.
Let me get a little drop of that while you're doing it.
It's a little.
Go ahead and finger me up there, Scotty.
As everybody can see, we're doing the traditional finger technique. Oh shit! Oh.
Get that glizzy in there, boy.
Ooh, that one's spicy. Shout
No.
out.
This is probably one of the best hot sauces I've ever tasted.
It's really good. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoy this hot sauce. Some
that.
of them, you
That.
can't.
Hey, Ben, that on a pickle boudin, dude.
Devilish. Shout out to.
Hey, we're gonna.
Devil.
Hey, no, we're
shout
gonna
out-
do it
shout out
after
to
this.
ep-
We're gonna
yeah.
do it.
Shout out to episode 197, Devilish Pickle Packer. It ain't a pickle unless that motherfucker bounces. And I want to take a minute
Sounds dirty.
to sing Ben Jones happy birthday
Happy
on
birthday.
the podcast. Happy
Happy
birthday to you,
motherfucker. Happy birthday to you, you beautiful
Talking
son of a
about
bitch.
me.
Happy birthday, dear Ben
Jones.
Jones. He's the new Mr. Jones, y'all.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank y'all. Hey, thank y'all so much, man. Y'all make me
Well-
feel so special.
well,
Hey, because look, we didn't plan this.
Well,
Like,
no,
y'all didn't know.
you called earlier, and I was like, "We doing this today or tomorrow?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, today." It was like,
Yeah, no, it's just because the last two has been on Sundays because of work schedules.
Yeah,
and stuff.
usually,
so I thought,
yeah.
And so I just happened to not be doing anything because I just ate that birthday cake with my horses. Like I ate the birthday cake with-
Again, the video was great.
Yeah,
That was-
man.
that was
No, I
fucking-
wanted to try to. I always try to show the humanistic characteristics of my horses, and like, yeah, I really think that if they had my body, that they would be badass. Like if they had if my horse can do what he does as a horse,
Right.
then if he was a human, this would be a badass motherfucker. And I respect that in him. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to see. That's what my whole book, Pawnee Pines. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna get into that.
Pawnee Pines. You know what I mean? We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Mac's one of the main characters. Like my horse Mac.
Oh,
Huh?
I didn't know his name was Max.
Yeah, no, Mac.
Oh, I think you were talking about Max.
No, I have two socks. He's 29 human years old. He's a strawberry roan. And then I have Mac that I bought from my stepdad. My stepdad passed away, and so I took back the horse, and he's been my horse that I ride since I stopped riding two socks. And then I have a female horse that came from my neighbors that is the youngest probably of the horses. She's only probably about 8 now. Max about 10. So yeah, my horses.
So it's 4 horses.
No, 3.
3.
Two
Okay.
socks, Mac, and Spirit.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, brother, dude, happy birthday, bro.
Man, appreciate it, man. Yeah, because I usually, Charlie invited me to come down there, and Kyle told me to come, and Bailey told me to come down there to New Orleans, but sometimes I just feel like chilling, you know what I'm saying? I've been in this whole, I get into these land things, bro, where I like being a part of the land like one of the animals. Like, I'm one of the animals.
Dude, you are an animal.
Yeah, no, I come to town, I go to the gym, I go to the feed store, I go to the grocery store, you know what I'm saying? And I stay on this rhythm. I'm on like a rhythm, bro. Like, I become one of the animals. Like, I'm the man animal. Like, they're the horse animal, the turkey animal, you know, the cat animal, the dog. Like, they're all the different.
You have turkeys, too?
No, I used to, but I was
still
just
got your
using
guineas?
I do have guineas. We talked about the guineas on the last podcast with about JP.
You can tell everybody else in the world a guinea is the same thing, as good as a guard dog.
Hey, I love it, bro.
That guinea will tear some ass up, dude.
Even if I don't have chickens, I'll always have guineas. But I got to where the only reason I keep the chickens now, I keep the chickens for 2 or 3 reasons. Now, because I have a predator that lives in my land, this hawk, right? He's a predatory animal, but I let him eat some chickens sometimes, because I realized that he gonna find game wherever game's at, whether I'm there or not, and like he's gonna get a rabbit, he's gonna get this, and so I had to stop looking at them like they're the predator, you know what I'm saying? And like these animals, like a coyote, the bobcat, the hawk. It's like these different rattlesnake, like all these animals that are considered bad animals or predator animals, they're not really bad. They just considered bad by humans. You know what I'm saying? If a human wasn't there, the animals don't go around being like, that's a bad.
Yeah, but that's natural selection.
Right.
Like, they are predators. They're a predatorial species.
Right.
They can't help but to
That's right.
prey.
So it's not their fault. They're just going to be them. And so I ain't got to be a bad person and try to kill or hurt these animals just because they're a predator.
Right,
Like, because they eat meat. I eat meat. Like, we eat meat. You know what I mean? So,
Together, we eat meat. Sorry for those who don't. But we do.
Yeah, and it's like, but I choose to eat certain meats. Like, I don't eat a lot of red meat anymore. Like, even though I got cows, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the process of not having cows because I don't like the whole, like, slaughter and process of them.
So you've been doing, like, a pescatarian thing, eat more fish?
Right. I eat more, like, shrimp and chicken. Like, I like eating white meat. I don't have a problem going out there and killing a chicken sometime, a rooster, to, like, cull him from the herd.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem doing that with a cow either.
You gotta have fewer roosters because they'll fuck up.
That's what I'm saying.
They'll fuck up some fucking hens.
And so, look, I don't have a problem doing that with deer either. Like, say there's an older male deer, right? The woods are going to take that deer. If you don't take it or another hunter's going to take it, there's going to be a group of coyotes that's going to take it, or like some type of maggots or something. If it breaks its leg, something's going to take that deer. The deer's life is only a certain amount of time. And so my animals, what they've taught me is my horse Two Socks. It's like, okay, what's the lifespan? And we talked about this a little bit on the last podcast. You know what I mean? Like, what's the lifespan of each animal, right? Because I wanted to see, like, okay, my horse is 29. What's the oldest a horse has ever been? So I was like, oh, shit. Well, what's the average lifespan of deer? And it's like 7 years. So if you see a deer this year, that means that if he's at 3 years already, that he's only got 3 years left if he makes it like that.
Right.
Because deer don't make it around here.
Well, it's between two things: predators or us,
Yeah.
who are predators,
That's what I'm saying, is that
Yeah.
humans kill more deer around here than do the woods.
like coyotes or
But
anything
the
else.
thing
yeah.
is that all the woods are filled with just pine trees now. They're not filled with oaks like Oakdale used to be. Used to be a dale full of oaks.
Well, how many times, like, you're driving down the road late at night, do you come across a fucking solid buck? No. For the most part, you're going to come across a doe, a yearling.
Yeah.
You're going to come across a herd of doe.
Right.
You hardly ever see a buck.
Well, it's a lot of the grazing land that we have for the animals around where we live now is harvested for pine trees and for the mills, and so that we make these plywood boards. Yeah. And that's what my book is really about. It's about the deforestation of the oak and the hardwood, and it ties in, it's intertwined with the hardwood mill. Because the hardwood mill and my grandfather, who knew Charlie's grandfather, they would mill the lumber. Like, they would mill the hardwoods. That's why it's called the Hardwood Mill Restaurant, because it was a mill that milled hardwoods, not pine trees.
The reason why they grow pine trees is because they grow very fast
And they can make more money.
Exactly.
They genetically altered. Used to, the rings were fucking
10 years is about what it takes, and they cut out paths and then they replant. And what's funny about these forestry industries is that they come out and say, oh yeah, even though we harvest this many trees, we planted 3 times more trees, but you're not planting trees that are
the hardwoods.
You're
planting pine trees.
Yeah.
It's the same pine trees. And look, the pine trees make a lot of stuff for us, and we get a lot of boards from pine trees, and we get a lot of plywood from pine trees. There's some good stuff. I'm just saying that there should be more planting of the oaks and more planting of the trees that produce nuts and that produce vegetation, like, for these animals, and then we'll have a better source of animals to eat from.
And then with that,
then we can start shepherding these animals and not just reaping them all the time. You know what I mean? And it's
reaping or raping.
Reaping, like, both. Yeah, I
was
guess.
saying, like, there's a lot of that out there too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Is that's what we're doing to the land, and so we're asking of the land a lot, but we're taking of the land so much, and we're not putting back in the same way that we took. So now the nutrients that we get, that if we live off the land, is not the same nutrients that our forefathers got, because of the nutrients that the animals are taking in. And look, you can be a little kid in a 5th grade science class and learn about source and secondary animals and primary animals. Mm-hmm. And primary animals that eat from the source, right? That eat from the earth. They take in this, and then a secondary animal eats that, and so they get the meat, but they only get a little bit of the source that came from what that animal ate. And so we should eat more from the source. Well, but our source is fucked up, is what I'm saying, and it's being altered.
Yes.
Well, that's why a lot of people still will prefer venison over beef, because they graze naturally, or even wild hogs, because they are still. I don't give a fuck if they're rooting fucking worms and fucking bugs.
Look, in my book, I have these group of does, and I call the one doe that always snorts at me, I call her Lucy, right? Well, Lucy and her does, they come onto my land to eat the grass that's in my field. And they eat the nuts, and they go on by the oak trees. I see them on my camera, and I go feed them at this feeding spot and feed them corn and stuff. But I noticed them and started feeding them there because of them coming in to eat my grass in my area on my land. Why are they coming into my land if they have all these woods all around them?
Because they feel safer at your house.
No, that's right, and
it's more fruitful too, because of the natural environment that you're producing on your land.
That's right.
Also, look at all right. Everybody around here hunts.
Yeah, I hunt.
Shit, you see an easy access of meat walk on your fucking land. I'm gonna fatten her up and I'm gonna cap her.
But I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah,
but
I'm trying to get them to bring in the older male deer that needs to be culled. But if there's no need from it, I can go to Buddy's and buy some shrimp or buy some chicken, or I can kill one of my chickens. I ain't got to kill that deer if I don't need to. I don't need to, there's not a need to. But the problem is that there's so many people around here have a need to eat where they can't afford to eat. And so they go and hunt on lands that's not theirs, or they go illegally hunt somewhere. And we have people that night hunt around here, and people will really go and kill all these animals at whatever time they want because they're fucking hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you're gonna do whatever it takes to it. They don't matter if that deer's in my fucking book. They don't care if Lucy the doe that Ben Jones is talking about in his book is walking across Pawnee Road at 1 a.m. at midnight. They gonna fucking shoot that bitch.
Well, it's part of the environment. So most people just like, oh, opportunity. You kill an opportunity. You don't.
Yeah, because they're not out there seeing the land and like how the cycle of it.
Yeah.
Can I interject right quick? It all ties in together too, because you look at deforestation that's happening right here in our parish. So
DMAP, all the
Okay,
DMAPs are protection areas, quote unquote.
I mean, but
there's
they'll
no
say that it's not.
there's
They'll
no
say that it's not.
vegetation for the deers to eat. So
Right.
No, it's all
which
fucking
is
pine.
No, I'll
Yeah,
tell you
'cause
where
it's
it's at.
pushing them
I'll
out.
tell you where
It's
it's
pushing
at.
them
It's
out,
along
and
the
it's
creeks.
yeah.
Along the creeks.
Nothing but hard bottom.
That's
baby.
right, because the machines can't get there. You know, Avatar, the dude jumping up on the machines, telling them to stop and stuff. It's the
Yeah.
same shit, bruh.
Because
It's the
they're
same.
avatarded.
No, it's because James Cameron is trying to say something, and then the writers are trying to say something. It's like the writers of Alice in Wonderland were trying to say something. The writers of The Giver were trying to say something.
Well, the story. Well, we can get on the story of Lewis Carroll and Alice in Wonderland
All
because
right.
that was kind of fucked off.
All right, but what I'm saying is though that the authors are trying to say something in books that they write by making up these other things.
Right, but you need to come to realization of what actually is happening.
Yeah, right. And so what the pine trees do is they lay an undergrowth of the pine straw, right? And so there's some mushrooms that grow.
Like great
There's
for fungi.
There's some fungi that grow.
A lot,
But
yeah.
they plant them in rows, right? To where there's not that much room unless people come and plant ryegrass as part of like the hunting club that the people lease it to.
Which is just
That's baiting. It's
Baiting.
just baiting the
Baiting.
animals in. So basically, the animals had nowhere to go. Like they're just there for food.
and there's like they create these natural lanes, firing lanes,
Right.
Because they're in these rows.
Right, and so you every now and then you'll see somewhere in the parish or somewhere in the next parish they'll have a safety zone for animals. It'll have like signs
Protection
up.
area.
Yeah, protection area for deer. Like this is a da 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 da. You can't hunt here. No guns allowed. And so the deer go there, and our animals go there. It's because it's safe there. Nobody's trying to hunt them and kill them.
But even the acreage that they have allotted for that protection area is not a lot compared
sufficient.
to the public land.
Like okay, so
It's hardly
all right,
shit.
So look, this is how I figured it out, bro. My cows, right? They eat these blocks, these nutrient blocks.
The salt blocks?
Yeah, but they're brown. They have more nutrients in them.
They don't taste bad. I've licked one.
Yeah, right. They're kind of like syrup, like kind of syrupy blocks.
Yeah, they put
All right.
molasses in
Right.
it, and yeah.
So I was going down my driveway right at night, and I kept seeing these deer coming from my field, going back to the little like wooded field that they go back into the woods. I was like, why are these deer going over there? Well, they were jumping the fence and going and licking that block.
Yep, in that block.
Licking that block. And so that made me feel like, okay, my cows, the food I'm giving my cows, the deer will like too. And I was like, oh shit, these deers are just like wood cows. Like they're wood cows. They're like if you start thinking about how the cow or the horse, like a mix between my cow and a horse, like the stuff that they eat, it's the same thing. So I started feeding the deer like they're one of my animals. They're just one of my animals. They just stay over there and they come and they fuck with me in the daytime, but at nighttime they see me, they snort at me. And so I write about them in my book and everything and create this whole little scene that I can tell the story of.
But them snorting at you is just, they're still territorial.
Yeah,
you know
they're talking to their young and saying, hey, there's a human.
Don't trust that motherfucker.
Yeah, but at the same time, she doesn't have to snort at me because I couldn't see him. Like I couldn't see him before she snorted. And then she snorted, and it brought my attention, and then I saw him.
Right.
And I do it, and it happened multiple times. And so I realized she wasn't snorting at her young; she was snorting at me.
But they know that common ground is.
I was allowing them to be there.
Yeah, they can be there, but seeing you is intrusive to them.
Yeah, but they also saw that I didn't kill him. Each time, That's how you.
Right.
I'm telling you.
No. That's valid. That's valid as fuck.
That's how you teach an animal that it's okay, and it is.
Like, hey, motherfucker, I see you.
No, it's like which animals are favored. You show an animal that it's favored by killing another animal in front of it, and then you don't kill it. Like that's how you do it, bro. And it's like the chickens and stuff like that. The roosters, when we call them roosters, right? You kill one of them roosters in front of them other roosters, and it shows that rooster that you didn't kill. You didn't kill it.
But he's still on a chopping block, though.
No, you killed that other one. You killed that other one, and it shows them that you got the power to kill the rooster.
Well, that's like a natural God complex.
No, I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Hey.
without saying God complex.
No, you show them, and then they're favored, and every time you feed them, you feed that one first. You don't feed the other ones first.
Yeah, motherfucker, you next, bitch.
No, you show him that he's the man. Like my hawk and my ducks, right? I don't kill my ducks. I keep letting them come in, but I go and I show them me without a gun. And so look, they start getting used to me, and now they'll fly over more.
Okay. Before we take a break, though,
Yeah.
I want to come back and ask you about those big ass bass you got in your fucking pond.
Yeah, hey, that legends. I got legends.
I know personally.
Yeah.
There's fucking legends.
No, I let a
inside.
few people come fishing still, but I make sure that they throw them back because I be
You don't-
feeding them too.
yeah, you
They're
don't-
part of the whole thing.
I know.
The bass are part of the whole story.
You got
the
some
ecosystem.
you got some fucking monsters in
Well,
there.
look, the bass are eating the frogs and the crickets and stuff
Right,
like that,
right.
and they're all part of the whole. So it's like it's a whole ecosystem.
Well, look, let's take 5 and let's.
And
come
it's
back.
not a God complex, bro. It's just how it is in the woods.
before-
It's how it is in the
That's what I'm
woods,
saying.
bro.
I hate to say it that way, but that's how it's
Hey,
interpreted.
you got to control the population of the chickens, and you can choose which ones you want to go forward. You know
Well,
what I mean?
Look, let's take 5 real quick, and let's come back and talk about how the bass and the pond play an effect with this.
I want to tell a story of frogging with AJ too.
Write down frogging with AJ.
Yeah, frogging with AJ. Hey, because look, that's part of the whole thing. The bass eat the frogs, and look, you can go out there at night
It's a
right
whole
now,
circle.
and the bass are like.
But with you contributing to the circle of life, that is still a God complex.
No,
there.
I'm trying to shepherd it. I'm trying to shepherd it as much as I can, bro. It's not. It's almost not a God complex, but it's the man. I'm the one in control of the whole ecosystem.
All right, we got 20 minutes before we can break. All right, so let's go into the pond.
Yeah, I'm in control of the whole ecosystem.
So all right, I don't want to. You don't want to put a nomenclature of phrase on something because it just makes it sound bad. But you're controlling the environment to the benefit of
the
them,
environment.
of
Right.
the environment.
I'm the protector of the
Exactly.
environment.
Okay, but some people will say, like, "Oh, well, if you're in control, that could be a God complex."
Watch, like, listen, I got this Indian family that was the guy was a professor that taught me at LSUA. He brings his whole family to my land, and they catch roosters that I choose which ones, and then they sit there and skin them roosters. And then I will bring them my ice chest full of the bass that I caught, some of the little smaller ones that I want to cull out of the pond,
Yeah.
so that they don't have to buy their food from the store. Because they know that the roosters and the bass were raised on my land.
Right.
So I allowed them to come on my land and practice their belief without problem by giving them an area that they can do that without having stuff in their food.
When you say Indian, you mean from India,
Yeah,
right?
like
because they
I respect all people
but
and all their beliefs and everything.
They want natural farmed animals because it
Right.
means more to them because they're healthier that way.
See, so what I'm saying is my position in it all is I'm the advocator of this for them.
There you go. Advocator.
Yeah.
Very,
Is that
very
better?
good.
Is
Very
that- is that
good.
better?
Yeah. Very,
But at the same time, I protect my land so that it can continue to produce for itself, for the animals, for the deer, for the hawk, for everything. So it maintains its balance as an ecosystem on its own by me standing watch.
So you're the
Yeah.
John Wick of your land. Whatever gotta go.
Yeah.
But you're
But-
there for love and peace and serenity.
And then making it to where it all flows together. And then I'm using my land as a platform to show other people in all areas of the world and life how they can operate with animals in harmony and happiness.
Okay, so John Wick's not the right thing to say.
It's like the John Wick of nature. I'm the John Wick of nature.
Of all the positive shit.
Like, imagine Keanu Reeves in a shepherding outfit
My bad, bro. My bad.
with a sword under his cloak.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to word this shit correctly,
No,
man.
I got you. I
But
just
no-
wanted you to understand. And so it's
Yeah.
like, because I can let all these yellow, gray, and red leg roosters live, but I've done seen that the gray leg roosters, they're more ferocious and their talons get bigger and their crows get bigger. So I started killing and giving away the yellow leg and the red leg roosters. and keeping the gray so that they have babies that more like them.
Yeah.
Right. You want the more just like the deer. You want the cull. You want the necks to prosper. Rather, it's their time.
Right. And so I look out for my bass. I don't let people catch the big bass.
Let the big bass grow.
Because the big bass will have babies of more big bass. They pass those genetics on.
Yep.
But if you have smaller fish that only can get to a certain size, like a medium-sized bass, you can take some of them out here and there to make more room for the bigger bass.
Well, ever since I've known you, like even like I don't want to ask you, can I fish your pond, because I know I would feel the same way you feel about your pond.
Well, no, I let people fish my pond that respect my pond and respect the animals.
Yeah.
Because look, people will say that fish don't have feelings and that fish don't feel it. Listen,
If it lives, it got feelings.
listen, how the fuck it feeling the worm in its mouth to bite the hook? You know what I'm saying? Like it's seeing it, it's feeling it, it's trying to eat it. You know what I mean? And then you take it out the water, and then it's got to find whatever family or whatever it comes from. So if I'm going to take a fish out of my pond, I'm going to eat it, because when it comes out, it ain't going back in. And I'm going to eat that fish, and I'm going to take in the nutrients, and I'm going to thank God, and I'm going to thank the universe and that fish for its life. And so I don't put it through this PTSD of going back in and feeling
holy
like,
shit,
damn,
I saw the fucking...
I saw the light.
Yeah.
But they can't explain that to everybody unless somebody else done been through it. There's just fish flying around in the water. swimming around with a big hole in his lip.
Well, see,
they're like, hey, that's the guy that got pulled out.
that motherfucker right there. But see, what I was getting at is like, I wouldn't ask you to fish your pond, because I don't want to risk fucking one of those. You love your creatures.
Yeah, but if you want to come out there and camp and fish, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a guy that likes to come.
But if that fish swallows that fucking hook and I have to rip that motherfucker out,
you got to eat it.
I'm going to eat that motherfucker.
That's right, and that's fine.
But I still feel bad that...
No, that's fine if that happens. That's part of life. Because you are one of... That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. That's the whole point. I'm one of the animals. I have to eat just like they got to eat, too.
I told you, you're an animal, baby.
No, but you're one of the animals, too. You're one of them too. And so if you come to my land and you are hungry and you catch a fish and this happens, you can eat it, because that's helping you live.
Yeah, there's a product of reason. Yeah, there's a product of reason. Like I respect you as a human. Like, you're not one of the animals like them. Like, you're a human that I have invited or I have over on my land. So if you are hungry, then you are welcome to eat one of my animals if it's in reason. Like, I ain't going to let you kill some animal. Like, say that you just hungry a little bit. You can't kill a cow unless you give me some money for a cow. But you can have a fish. If you want to take the time to put a worm and go out there and you catch a fish to eat that fish. Hey, that'd be the best fucking fish I ever ate in my life.
I'm saying that you can. Because you one of the animals too. Like, we're all one of the animals. It's just that some animals have abilities that other animals don't have. Like, my horse has abilities that a cow don't have. My cow had abilities my horse don't have. The guineas got abilities that my dog don't have.
Them guineas. Like I said, let's get back on the guineas. Them guineas, like I said, are just as good as guard dogs.
I love them.
I fucked with a guinea.
Hey,
dude.
You know what else is lie about the guineas? They leave a lot of them little guinea feathers around, and you can put them in your hat.
Well, I took one from your house actually, and I put it in my fucking hat.
Hey, bro, I'm telling you, and you can see any fancy hat.
I still have your guinea feather in my hat.
I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I had a bunch of these feathers that I had collected in my car, and I went up in this hat shop and sold some to this guy in a hat shop. Some of my guinea feathers.
Because they're fucking dotted and they're square at the end.
Yeah, and there'd be some little ones, and they'd be like,
they're flat at the fucking end, dude.
And I started to be like, man, I could really collect all these feathers and go around selling them to fancy people.
You got guineas that do feathers like that, and turkeys have flat feathers like that too.
Yeah, turkeys a lot bigger, like a lot longer.
You still got your turkey?
No, we killed the turkeys because
that motherfucker tried to school me one day, dude.
Actually,
he tried to fucking plex up on me, bro. I had to run from him because he almost fucked me up.
Because,
that big ass Jake you had, he almost fucked me up.
I had two of them, and the reason why they were intentional for food, we had them to fatten them in because
good. No, that motherfucker.
No, listen, that's what I'm saying is that like the turkeys. They have the white meat. I believe more in the eating of the birds and like the fowl. I'll eat the fowl and I'll eat the stuff of the ocean, like crabs, shrimp, any type of fish.
You eat
like,
frogs?
I will eat some frog legs. Like, I won't eat the whole body part of the frog, but if somebody cooked the frog leg right, then I'll eat the frog legs. But listen, it's got to be right. Like, somebody that knows how to cook, like,
yeah.
somebody knows how to cook,
But it's
like,
got to be
scallops.
a proper. It's got.
You know what I'm saying?
Scallops
you
in
find
particular.
somebody that can cook scallops, and I'll let them cook me frog legs.
Like, all right, so you got two types of people in the world. You can cook a steak real well. You can cook a scallop real well. They both are easy to fuck up. And if you fuck them up, I can't trust you.
So what I do is I have these adventures with my animals, right? And then at night when it's dark and I can't work no more on my land, or I can't fuck with the animals, or I can't observe or do whatever.
You embrace.
No, then I write about it, and then I draw about it, and I color about it, and so I take the whole thing and I put it into the story. So I'm done with Pawnee Pines Part 1. Pawnee Pines Part 1, but Pawnee Pines Part 2 is about to begin, because I've realized something is that the stories didn't end. Like this, the book ended because I ran out of pages in this journal that I was writing. Like, I made the journal into the book, and so it became like, it took it on its own life, and it became like, oh shit, like I'm really doing it. Like, this is all the book altogether. And so now I got to the end of it. But I'm like, this ain't the end of it. This is just the end of this book. So now I could say this is just part 1, but it's actually like 90 pages.
Yeah.
But it's part 1 of Pawnee Pines. And so now the stories continue as long as I want to write them. As long as I want to take the time to write them.
And I feel like you're just on like
The cusp.
the cusp
I
of it.
am. I feel like I've just gotten good at a certain like way of presenting it.
Because like your drive is so passionate about like your perception of not just like your land, but the way of life.
I'm hoping that
on
this
your
helps
land.
other people. Like, my land is a stepping stone for other people that own land that don't know how to operate with animals. Like, I want to show them the way by being a translator.
But
I'm
it's
translating.
unordinary.
Yeah, it's unordinary.
It's unordinary.
It
but
definitely is unordinary.
It's unordinary.
Everything about me is unordinary.
That's why we love you, baby.
Yeah.
But like it's in a different respect.
Right. It's because what I'm doing is maybe not even affect people of our time. I'm thinking it's going to be after, like, I'm dead and gone one day. Somebody's going to pick up my book or find it and see what I was trying to say or trying to do. And then it's going to have a ripple effect, because I realize that when you throw a rock into a pond, it ripples all the way to the edge, and all the animals in between feel it. And so if you can throw a rock big enough and hard enough, and then the right people pick that rock up, then that ripple can keep on going. And I've been finding myself in the right rooms with the right people a lot lately. And I don't know if y'all realize, or if people listening realize, but you start seeing all these cool ass people, and then you look, and I'm right there with them. And so you get into these conversations when you get into these groups with these cool ass people, bro, and then they appreciate and see the cool assness inside of you. You know,
Cool assness, I like that.
yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like they see it in you too, and so then they open up and talk about their goals and aspirations, and you can share it, and then all of a sudden you become bonded with this person, and now you have another avenue. And once your avenues connect like so much, it becomes a spider web. And then so what I realized is that I'm Charlotte from Charlotte's Web. Like, I'm the web weaver, and
You're the constructor.
I'm the architect. Like,
Yeah.
I'm the architect. And me and Kyle, shout out to Kyle again, we're talking about this with the void stuff. It's like, we are the architects of these dreams that we have, and we can make them however the fuck we want. And then you just let me go on them. Unleash Ben Jones on the fucking idea, and I'm telling you, we'll figure out a way to get it done.
But one of my favorite things about, but like in comparison of your story to something like Fête du Void, it's not so much personal. Like, oh, I'm here for me.
No.
I'm here for you.
I'm here for the future of people.
We're here
because
together.
I want everybody to realize that the future of people depends on the animals. If we run out of animals, then we run out of people. Because we're not going to have anything to eat. We're not going to have anything to go back to that's pulling from source, because we done took it all. And so we got to learn to manage it better. Like wildlife, the wildlife agents and stuff. We all need to be wildlife agents and start doing our part to make sure that like different parts of the whole pyramid of the whole cycle of life stays intact. Because if one of them parts drop off, and another part takes off, then that could end society. And people don't realize that because they don't have time, and they're all caught up and they're so busy. And I feel like that's why my life has been planned like this by the universe, because I was handpicked to do this, to do this task. So it's almost like I'm on a mission that's bigger than my life, and I feel like that it's gonna be my whole life. Like this ain't gonna stop. Like I feel like I'm really inspired by Steve Irwin and people like him. That it's like I can see, like every day I live and breathe this. Like this is what I do when I wake up. I make sure that I do my part to take care of my animals and make their life better and provide an area that my animals can go to feel safe. And then if I can do that for animals, I can do that for people. So if people don't feel safe and they need somewhere to go to and have a place that's a safe place, they can come to my place. Like any of my friends ever need anything, like if you know me, then you can come show up at my fire. Yeah, but if you don't know me and you don't fuck with me, don't fuck with me.
Fuck off, man.
Don't come fuck with me. But if you my friend and you there for me and I'm there for you and you know I got your back no matter what, then show up at my place if you got problems going on. You know what I mean? And I'd help a stranger. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what the whole thing is. It's like the Fête du Void is bigger than each individual person. And in Pawnee Pines is bigger than me.
But a story presented and a story told is bigger than it all.
But them dudes taught me. They helped mold me. All the Fête du Void people. And that's what they did, bro. And that's what they do to people. And that's what we do to people now that I'm part of it. It's like once you come into the Fête du Void, you're one person. But then you get molded by all of these architects, all these potters, and you got to be the clay. Because if you're too hard and you're not willing to be molded, then you're not going to be molded. But if you're able to let these other people influence your life, then it's like they help me. They help catapult me. Like AJ taught me how to ride a motorcycle, and now I got an Indian Scout that I ride all the time, and I got a license for, and so much. AJ taught me how at Fête du Void.
And I'm so glad you do have an Indian Scout because that's one of my favorite motorcycles ever.
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Ever.
I fucking love that bitch. And look, I'm saying that AJ taught me how to ride on a little yellow bike, and then he let me ride his dirt bike, and then he showed me some other stuff, and then he taught me into taking a class. And it's like it would never be for him. I wouldn't enjoy this stuff and help me with my anxiety that I do. Like I go sometimes on night rides. And just ride for like 2 or 3 hours, fucking flying like 75, 80 down.
You're doing it for yourself.
Yeah, and it's because it's free, like free feeling, and it allows me to just think. Because when you're on a motorcycle, you can't do nothing but drive the motorcycle. You got to be totally there. If you lose what you're doing for a second, you might die on that motorcycle. But I would never be able to experience that if this man didn't take the time to show me another grown man. I was a grown fucking man when I'm talking about a few years ago. Like AJ taught me how to ride a motorcycle, but you got to be willing as a grown man and not be stubborn. Like, you know what I mean?
To hear and listen.
Right, to new things and be open to new things. And that's what the Fête du Void is all about. And it's like so many people that come in and I've seen their lives change for the better. And it's like you got to be willing. You got to be willing to look and not just look for 1 second and see the beginning of the Muppet play. Like, you got to wait and watch the whole Muppet play.
That's right. Well, look, let's pause right there real quick. I'm going to come back through. We're going to take a little small break and come back through and talk about the rest of your book and perception of, like, the wildlife agents. When did the universe call you yourself into this persona? You now have, like, you know, like, you're not even confined anymore. You've blossomed. Yeah. And I want to get more into the molding of
Fuck
people.
Yeah, bro.
So let's take a small break and come back into that.
Those are good points. I'm glad you writing over there.